Alright guys, welcome back. We're doing a little update. It's a viewer request from one of the groups. Just wanted to know what the long-term and the short-term scenario is for where we are currently. So you know that we drew this wedge. So this is on a different chart. We drew a wedge and we want to look at the long-term and short-term, right? So on the long-term, as you can see, this is the long-term scenario. We're going to have an upward. We can see that, and we can see where we are going to have our bounces, right? So here, 37 is a key zone where we will see a reflection, a deflection if we do hit it. I doubt it because obviously we've got a few more days to go. As you can see here, the 37 mark, right? The 37. If we hit it today, then we've got the 37. But as we progress downwards, it gets more cheaper, which is actually a good thing. So it's going to be less resistance for us. And this is a particular zone that we need to focus on. We need to stay above this by whatever means, basically. So on the short term, and this is where I've got this next Fibonacci here. Let's focus on this short term, right? So on the short term, what you can see is, if I just move it over to the 4 hourly, what you can see that we are in the actual golden pocket currently. We're holding support on the fib lines itself on the 0.65 at the 33k. You know, seeing massive resistance, and look at this, we're having resistance from the 35, so we almost went to the 35. We went to 34,000 something, 34,900. It's a matter of us retrying this, but there is a lot of downward pressure. Let's see what happens as long as we can hold this. Now, also drawn another box here as a worst case scenario. So as a worst case scenario, we can see that we've got the 28k here. We have had one test here. We've had a previous test here, and we're actually lower here. So this is a lower high. We might even potentially, within the next few days, few weeks, as long as we follow this wedge, we might even come into this zone before we do a rebound. And if we do, then obviously we need to get back above these lines here. This specific white line here, we need to get back above that, which is currently showing us the 41,353. So as soon as we get above this, we have to still break the 47,000 mark. Once we break the 47, then we're off to the races again. But until then, I just think everybody needs to be very patient. Don't get too excited when you see things moving up. We are going to see bounces. So what I mean by that, we will see patterns like this forming, possibly even up to this range before we see a breakout. So just be patient. If you haven't bought already, just hang about. If you are dollar cost averaging and buying right now, what you should be doing is preparing to hold for at least 5 years. The idea is 5 years, but it doesn't mean it's going to be 5 years. It might be shorter than that. So yeah, just be patient and we'll get there. So we need to get above this line. Remember this, right? So this particular chart isn't online, but I have put a chart in the link, yesterday's chart. You can see from there. So yeah, just don't start FOMOing when you see these patterns hitting these lines. When we go there, we are going to come back down again, right? We are going to come back down again. So just don't FOMO. Talking of yesterday's chart, let's see if I can find it. So this is the yesterday's chart, as you can see, right? So what you're seeing here is we bounce perfectly off this. We are finding resistance perfectly on this. This is the chart that's online at this present moment. You can actually go in and see this. Until we break out this pattern, until we go above this line and then break above this, nothing is bullish at all. For short term, as I said, this is the trend we have to break. And for short term, as you can see, we need to break this wedge. So we do have a possibility of coming into this particular zone, looking at this fib level, and obviously worst case scenario even up to here. But this is less likely. This is more likely to be seen in the next few days. So be patient, and if you do have orders, I would recommend put it around these particular areas. This is not a financial advice. You do your own research, but this is just only my opinion. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one. This is just a short one. I'm short of time, but I think this one should help the person who asked for it. Thank you very much. Adios, amigos.